Hi guys, it's been a while. I'm here to record a get ready with me today. My first one that I'll be recording, and I'm actually really excited because I'm not an expert with makeup. I would like to think that I am somewhat decent at it. It's really fun for me. So we're gonna have a lot of fun today, guys. What do we want to start with? I'm not trying to be like a beauty guru, by the way. Like, this is just something that's like been really fun for me. So not only did I want to do my makeup with you guys today, but I wanted to kind of go over like where I've been the last year and a half to my 26 subscribers that care. It's been a wild ride, and I'm ready to talk about it, I guess. Not that it was like that deep, but you know, like I said, I'm not an expert, so I don't know if anyone cares like what kind of products I use, but just in case you do care. Been using this, I've never even heard of this brand before, Volatin. I can't read either, apparently. Yupon Tea Glow Awakening Moisturizer. Got this in my Ipsy bag this month. Well, it's September, so I got it for my August bag, but it's really nice. I just like the way it smells. Like, moisturizer is obviously like so important when you live in the desert like I do. Was I talking about anything? Probably not. So I've been using this primer by Maybelline. I love this primer. It's the Master Prime. I used to use the one, like this green one, because my face used to be like really red. It's kind of like better now, but this does a really good job like blurring the redness, like a really good job for being as cheap as it is. I highly recommend this if you get like, it's called like rosacea or whatever, but I don't know, like I was never diagnosed with that. I'm assuming that's what was happening to my face, but now it's gone. I don't know why it stopped, and I don't think you care. So let's put this on. I'm using this one now because it has SPF. Realizing that from being in Arizona, I am getting kind of like a little bit of the darkness on my face. If you sit in the sun, apparently it makes your skin turn different colors and whatnot. You're like, what are you talking about? Moral of the story is, use your sunscreen. Don't sleep on sunscreen, for real. Like, you already know. So then, after I put on my primer, what do I use after my primer? Like, you know. Oh, so that's the SPF one. And then I got this in my Ipsy bag as well. Thank you, Halsey, because she curated the Ipsy bag for August, and I was sent some really cool products. So this, before I use it, let me show you. Tatcha, the Silk Canvas Primer. It's great. It's a protective primer. I don't know what I'm talking about, but it's nice. It's a nice product. Use this little coin thing, and you put it on the little coin, and then you just kind of, I think you're supposed to like swipe it up, but I'm dumb and don't understand the physics of how to do that. So, so this is how I do it instead. It's obviously a lot more productive, right? And while I'm rubbing this in and letting this moisturizer and whatnot sink into my skin, I'll let you in on some life updates. So, oh my gosh. So my first video that I made, that I posted on here, posted my video, and then I was determined to keep posting. I was living in Colorado at the time. I had a couple of roommates that I was living with, and basically they moved from Arizona to Colorado with me, and they couldn't continue living with me. Not like anything happened between our relationship or anything. They were just going through a lot, and they were away from their family and whatnot, and it just ended up being a lot harder for them than necessary, so they moved out. Sounds like a very simple thing, but I was just so excited to live with them. And I think we were living together for maybe like, well, it was only like 4 or 5 months or something like that before they decided to move back to Arizona. As small as it was, like my whole world shattered, because I was like, what am I gonna do? I went to Colorado for an internship at a recording studio, and I wasn't even like halfway through my internship yet, and I couldn't pay for rent there by myself. I needed to be there, and I was like, do I, find someone random to live with? Like, what do I do? I'm tied to this lease. I don't want to pay a bunch of money to like end the lease or anything like that, right? We were living in Colorado at the time, and then we had a week where we went back to Arizona together, the three of us, like to visit. When they kind of told me like, you know, we can't live together anymore, like we need to move back here, yada yada. And I was like so devastated. And I was crying in the car on the way to my mom's house where I was staying. I was like crying, listening to this worship song, and I was like, dear Lord, like please just tell me what to do. Please just tell me what to do. I felt like he said Drew, which is my brother. I asked my brother to come live with me, and he said that he'd think about it, but long story short, he ended up coming to Colorado to live with me. He lived with me for a while. I was, you know, working at Chipotle like full time. I'd been there for like 5 years at that point, and I was so stressed out, like so stressed out. Before I continue this little story, I'm gonna put on my foundation. I use the Born This Way matte foundation. Not like anything you haven't heard of before. I just really enjoy it. I don't think I use my right color, but like I low-key don't care. Does anyone's foundation like really match their skin? I don't know. So my brother moved in. I was working at Chipotle. Chipotle was super stressful. I was also like trying to figure out how to get my husband to the States, which you probably don't, maybe if you don't actually know me, you probably don't understand like what I'm talking about. I'm gonna make a story time to this because I owe you guys a part 2 of what happened, how I met my fiance. Yeah, basically like I started my channel, I got a lot of distractions. I was trying to get my husband into the States. Like that was a whole process. I was like working a lot, super stressed out, transferred stores that I was working at like after my brother moved in. Let me just say that maybe I'll give that its own story time because I just had like a really crazy general manager, and I don't remember like a lot of specifics, so maybe it's not even worth doing a story time about, but it was really stressful. And on top of that, you know, after that season had passed, I finally got my husband into the States. And then we had 3 months to plan our wedding. We planned our wedding. We had our wedding. And then 2 weeks later, COVID happened. And the rest of 2020 happened. And it was a year. Oh, dude. I'm so like flustered right now. I usually put these clips in my hair, like, you know, to hold my hair out of my face. Yep, that's the look. That's it right there. Sorry, I keep having to change the camera angle. So my experience with COVID was like, I guess kind of different for, you know, I mean, everyone's experience with everything is different. What am I talking about? It's not like I had to quarantine or anything. So I was working full time. Still, the pandemic was going on and the world was going crazy and all that. Typically in times of distress, like I rely on my faith, right? Like I rely on God to get me through hard times and whatnot. But honestly, like last year to me just felt like there were so many more important things going on that weren't me, you know, that like God had to do and worry about. And like God is not, like God is God, you know, it's not like there's anything he can't handle. But I just felt like so insignificant, and I was like, you know, who am I to be asking God like to help me through things when like the whole world is like suffering, right? And that was totally my fault. And it was my own way of thinking that, you know, so I felt really distant from God last year. My ferret is like messing with my closet right now. So if you can hear that, that's what that is. So I was like really distant from God last year, and I was also going through a lot of like self-doubt that I'm really just coming out of now in these last few months. Kind of just years of like buildup, you know, things I've been told as a child, things that happened in my childhood, happened in my adult years I never dealt with, the way that boys treated me, and like how I, you know, just reflected that back onto myself. It kind of just all came to a you know, my life was finally like not super chaotic. And it's like I finally had time to decompress and think about all these things. Like even though I was working and all of that, it's like, you know, I wasn't really doing anything else besides like spending time with my husband. So I finally had time to think about all these things and how they were affecting me and how they affected my self-image and how I see myself. And yeah, so it was really hard for that reason. And it was hard for a lot of people. And I'm sure that my struggle last year was like not even close to, a lot of the things that other people dealt with, but it was tough. I had like a lot of just body insecurity issues, and I was super discouraged, and I didn't want to post anything. I didn't want to make anything. I didn't want to create anything. I did, like I wanted so much more than this manager job at Chipotle. I got stuck there I was working there for 6 years. I got comfortable and I kind of stopped like trying to get more for myself. Well, that's not necessarily true, because I went to college like a couple years ago, like for audio engineering, which is what led me to Colorado. And then when I got to Colorado, my plan was to like leave Chipotle after a certain amount of months, and ended up staying. And I was like, each day that I was there, I just ended up being like more and more depressed, and I was also being treated really poorly. It all came to a boiling point. I kept praying to God, please, like, if I'm supposed to leave my job, like, please give me a sign, please give me a sign. And really, like, he'd been telling me for a while to leave my job. I just was too scared to jump out of the boat. I finally did. Started working for DoorDash. Just wanted to have a job where I could create my own schedule so I could start focusing on the things that are more important to me. But then when I started working for DoorDash, it was kind of just the same thing. And we were just working so hard just to pay bills and all that. Let me start working on my eyes so I can say that I did something today. I got this palette in an Ipsy box as well. It's a Patrick Starr palette. I don't really know too much about Patrick Starr, but this palette's cool. It's got some nice like yellows and golds and whatever. So should I show you or should I just talk about it? It's like super dirty, by the way. When I was working for DoorDash, it was kind of just like the same thing, just working my life away to pay for my life that I wasn't living because I was working all the time. And I'm like getting more depressed, and I'm like, what is the point of everything, Which I think was a lot of people's like mindset for things. Kind of made everybody stop in their tracks and be like, what really matters. So it was the new year of 2021, and some really bad, without throwing anyone in my family under the bus or anything, and getting too personal with that, some really bad things happened with my family. Long story short, I ended up moving back to Arizona to stay with my mom and my stepdad. So me and my husband could start just saving money again and getting our life back on track after it kind of shattered, to say the least. So here we are now. We've been here 5 months. I think it's September. We moved here in May. So, but I was in Colorado for like 2 years. Before I moved back to Arizona. I was living in Colorado. We didn't go to church at all. And when I was here, I was going to church all the time. Like, I'm very devoted to my church. I love my church. That's an understatement. Like, I love my church. And it was really sad to move to Colorado, not be there anymore. And, I tried one other church when I was in Colorado, but it wasn't like my church here. Like it, And I was also just being lazy. And I was like resisting God in a lot of ways. Things happen. He's not mad at us when we drift away. He understands. And when I came back to Arizona and started going to my church again, I want to explain this right, because it's not like you absolutely have to go to church, like to be saved or to be a Christian. But it does help your spiritual walk when you're around other believers and you're hearing the word like constantly, It helps your faith a lot. And it really restored my soul when we finally started going back to church again. I forgot to do my eyebrows. I just knew that I really needed church for my soul. And I started getting back into the word and started to pray again more frequently before we moved. So it wasn't necessarily just church that kind of spiraled me into like the right direction. My church is amazing. It's called Impact Church in Arizona. It's Scottsdale. If you ever are in Scottsdale and you want to go to church, it's amazing. That's all I can say, is that it's amazing. So we've been back here for 5 months. I'm getting so distracted. I'm like, I feel like I can't tell this story straight. We've been here for 5 months, and it's been kind of just more trials and tribulations and learning and growing, and I've been trying really hard to lean into God's word and let him develop me, because I just feel like I've been trying to do things my own way for so long, and I'm finally at this point where I'm just like submitting like more and more of myself so that he can use me and fulfill my purpose. And because I don't know if from what I just said in however much time I just filmed, I don't know if I really mentioned that like my biggest thing last year was feeling like I didn't have a purpose, and that drove me crazy. And so I prayed and prayed and prayed at God, you know, like, show me my purpose, show me my purpose. And now there's things in these last few months that have been unfolding that he's been encouraging me, making me better. You know, it's hard to explain, and I guess I don't have to explain it all in one video, because I feel like my thoughts are like all over the place right now. But what was I saying? By the way, I'm putting this eyeliner on my eyelash lids. What the heck is that? I'm putting my liner on my lashes. On my lid. Oh my God, I'm not okay. This is what I'm really trying to say. I don't know what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that I have brain damage. What I'm trying to say is that this is called Eye Lower London liner. This is very serious. And this is for magnetic lashes. I never liked glue lashes. I've used them like a handful of times throughout my life, but I hate them. I actually got another pair of like glue lashes recently, and I didn't mind them that much, but that's not the point. The point is magnetic lashes are where it's at, and I am totally messing up this eyeliner right now, so I'm gonna shut up. So I don't know if you can tell, but I made the liner like a lot thicker than I meant to, but it's okay. If you ever want some awesome makeup wipes, by the way, I'm sure like no one's gonna take this advice, but I sell Big Lots. Big Lots is, I love Big Lots. I love Big Lots. I don't know why I started using these or why I bought them. I think like my grandma bought them for me or something, but they have these makeup wipes. They're from Epiel, and they have like a cucumber one, they have like an argan oil one, they have vitamin C one. They all smell great, and they're only like $1, and they are the best makeup wipes like I have ever used. Like, they're never too dry, and honestly, ever since I started using them, like, I rarely break out. I don't know if that's a coincidence, so I highly recommend. So now that I've done this eyeliner for the lashes, I'm gonna use the Better Than Sex waterproof eyeliner. I love this eyeliner. I need a new one though. And then I'm gonna draw out the wings. And I'm like, been doing wings for like a really long time to be this bad. They might look good from like a distance or whatever, but like they're always uneven and like not the same shape. And I still haven't done my eyebrows, dude. It looks fine now, right? I was talking with someone about this the other day. Like, you always start your wing off small, and then it just grows larger and larger and larger until it takes up your whole face. I don't think you can tell that much right now, but it's not even. Yeah, I don't know if I have any more like life updates. I don't remember really like what I just said or where I left off, but life is good right now. Sometimes you go through hard things and trials and tribulations, and you get discouraged and pushed down, and it sucks. And biggest thing is not that you have problems, you know, because everyone does, and everyone's going to go through things. It's how you respond to those issues and how you learn to become a problem solver. And for me, you know, I had to rely on God a lot, and he, you know, taught me more how to rely on him, because I can't, there's just too many things I can't do on my own, you know, especially when it comes to things like that are mental, like self-doubt and anxieties. And, you know, I get social anxiety kind of bad off and on, and, you know, and then something else that he spoke to me recently was that, you know, you have to go through something to get over it a lot of the time. So for me, with things like social anxiety, you kind of just have to keep doing things that are gonna make you feel anxious. And then the more you do those things that make you feel anxious, and you, instead of canceling, you go through with it, the more comfortable you become. And that's just something that I've been working on, because I know like a lot of us, not me, but a lot of people were isolated. A lot of people were isolated last year, and I know it can be really hard to get back into the world. For me, it's kind of been on and off hard because I'm not like around people all the time. I go to church, but I don't like go to like social events or anything, or really have any friends anymore. So I had to go in and out of seasons of being like socially anxious, and sometimes I'm not, and I'm fine. It's really random. I don't know if it depends on your diet or what, but yeah, you gotta push through it, you know? Stay strong, keep your faith. And what am I saying? So next I'm going to do my eyebrows finally, actually. So the thing with this magnetic liner is you have to line it. I do it like 4 or 5 times, like 4 or 5 layers, or else it doesn't work. Like, especially with the inner corners of my eyes, I try to layer with the liner more, because like the magnet always comes off in the inner corner. But once they're on, like, they look great. They're comfortable. You can take them on and off really easily. I think they just overall look better than like glue lashes. One might ask, what are you getting ready for today, Emily? Well, not much. I am part of, how do I explain this? I'm part of a membership of a YouTuber, and we do like monthly events. This month we're doing like an event like every week, basically. It's just like on Zoom. So today we're just going to be talking about, just having conversations about maybe subjects that aren't normally talked about, or are maybe harder to talk about because they're sensitive and stuff like that. So that's what the event today. And then I gotta get some stuff in my car done. And that's the plan for today. And now I'm gonna do my eyebrows. I keep forgetting about my eyebrows, dude. But you know, I hate eyebrows. Like, not the existence of them. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, eyebrows are great. They have their purpose. But like, you know, when people start getting into these like trends, it's like, why? What's the point? Like, I genuinely, you know, when like them being fluffy is like the thing, and then them being like small is the thing, and then them looking, I just don't get it, and I don't care. Maybe I'm the only person in the world that feels this way, but I literally will not like be looking at someone's eyebrows like ever. Be like, whoa, their eyebrows are like, they have really nice eyebrows. Like, they're eyebrows. Like, who cares? It's weird. And I guess I've kind of been like that with most things. I don't really follow trends for the most part. Like, I just don't have enough energy to care about those things. I've always been that way. Oh, by the way, I'm using this brow pen from Anastasia. It's nice. I like the color of it, and I feel like it's easier to use. I'm only using it because I got it in an Ipsy bag, and I actually bought it once more after that because I really liked it. But to be honest, like, you don't need an expensive brow pen to do your brows. You know, if you want a cheaper one, actually, NYX Thick Fill and Fluff. Yeah, I don't really style my eyebrows in any type of way. I just try to fill them in and make them look even. Trends are weird though, right? I mean, the world is just always changing. It's like, what's cool right now like might not be cool like next year or even like next week. You know? And it just seems like very exhausting to like keep up with like what's in. I love styling myself. I love getting creative with my looks. I love makeup and stuff like that, but I tried to stay away from like doing things for the sake of like fitting in, because what's the point? So what have I done? I've finished my eyebrows, I think. Yeah, sure. My liner looks pretty mediocre. I'm gonna curl my lashes, and then I'm gonna put the mascara on, and then I'm gonna finish the rest of my face. And then I'm gonna put the lashes on. What did I just say? I just said it and I forgot. Also, if I'm like too close to the camera, I'm really sorry. You'll just kind of have to deal with it this time. I'll fix it for next video. Let me just put that mascara on real quick, like. Oh. I just did that and didn't explain it at all. So I'm a fraud. Here's what happened, okay? Here's the tea. I got a pimple on around my mouth like a few years ago, and it was like right before me and my friend were going to this concert. So I was trying to like disguise the pimple with my makeup by making it a mole instead. That's what this is. And ever since I started doing it, I just never stopped. And you know, some people do like fake freckles. Like, I have this. This is what I do. It's not that convincing. It doesn't look real, really. So people are surprised when I say it's not. It doesn't look real, but I like it. And that's all that matters. Don't let anyone talk you out of doing something just because they say it looks weird or it's not on trend or like whatever. Like do it because you want to and you like it. And lesson of the day. So now we're gonna do bronzer. I don't like blush. I only use bronzer. I don't believe in blush. Like I believe in Jesus, but I don't believe in blush. It actually looks a lot more intense on camera than it does like in person, which is interesting. Try to make it look a little more concise and natural, even though nothing about this look is natural. I'm gonna take this Ofra highlighter. Ofra makes great highlighter. Dude, I feel like my makeup looks crazy today. Maybe because I'm distracted. When I'm done and I blend it out, it'll look normal, I hope. So I only do that highlighter on my cheekbones, and then I actually have been using this Anastasia Liquid Glow highlighter for some other spots on my face because it's more concise. I don't really know why I do it this way, actually. It's just something I started doing recently and I just like it better. So I'll do like a little bit of my chin, a little bit of my, what's that called? Is that called a Cupid's bow, or am I thinking of something like totally different? So then I put a little bit on my nose, and then I put a little bit on my eye corners. Ooh, I forgot to put mascara on the bottom lashes. I hate when that happens. This looks very intense right now. The whole cover is like gone. You can't even read it because I use this so much, but it's the translucent setting powder from NYX. It's like the best drugstore setting powder. Honestly, in my opinion, it's the best setting powder I've ever used. Expensive or not. Like it blends out really well, makes your face look more matte. I'm definitely more of like, I like my face to look matte, not like glowy. I like to be a matte girl. Ew, I hated that. What does that even mean? See, it looks like a little more, my face looks more smooth now, right? Blended a little bit. I still look crazy because I don't have my lashes on. I mean, not crazy, like it's fine, you know? I need to stop being so dramatic. I understand I'm like slightly out of the picture too. We'll work on that. You and me, we'll work on that together. I feel called to make YouTube videos. I'm not an expert at it by any means yet, but one day you'll see, you'll all see. And let's just pray that these stay on. We got it, girl. These are very, once they're on, by the way, like if they're on well and you did the eyeliner right and everything, like they do not come off. I'll tell you that. Unless you've been like crying. If I cry, they come off. So like every time I go to church basically, but for the most part, like they stay on. So now I just gotta do my hair. So let's do that real quick. Thank you guys for watching this video. Thank you for hanging out with me while I do my makeup. If like, you know, my thoughts are all over the place and whatever, it'll get better hopefully. And if not, I hope you still love me anyway. So if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and hit the like button. It helps my channel out a lot. And if you don't, that's fine too. I won't be mad. My next video that I'll be uploading will be How I Met My Husband Part 2. I know that's a long time coming, so I will be posting that next Friday. Videos will now be going out on Fridays, and maybe more after I get the hang of this. But there will be a new video next Friday, so I hope that I will see you guys there. And until next time.